Can you hear me now? Oh, yes, I think you guys can. I'm sorry about the issues at the start. Let me check. Let me know, please, guys, in the chat. Hello, Stim Sivar. Hello, Lina, Miriam, Russ. I think it's working now. Okay, very rare. Okay, yes. Good. Okay. Okay, very well. Okay, we're having a look at... Well, we already had a look at one of the best scenes in the game already with one of the best performances by Abubakar Salim, the voice actor for Bayek. That's one of my favorite scenes, and it's at the right, at the beginning. Okay, good. So this is the first... we just saw Bayek killing one of the members of the Order of the Ancients. Now we have to hold L1. That's okay. And we're also witnessing Sary going back to the keyboard and joypad settings for Origins. So we're getting there, absolutely. So guys, how was your weekend? How were your last few days? It was kind of easy on us, so we could relax. I could work on a video on Rift that we are going to hopefully publish in the next few days. So we're working on that specifically right now. Hoping that there are going to be some announcements in the coming days or weeks. I'm not sure there's going to be Assassin stuff at the Xbox conference or stream, but today they announced that there's going to be actually a side event again by Xbox that will have new trailers on stuff that is announced on the Xbox conference. So we might keep an eye in there to see if anything gets announced there. Kazekage, welcome to the stream. Well, look who's actually here early for once. That's nice. Thank you guys for joining us. Hernan, welcome to the stream. School is out and I've graduated. Wow! Okay. Congratulations, Kazekage. Good job. I'm doing pretty well, but I can absolutely imagine that not as well as you after finishing school and graduating. It must have felt like a liberation, I guess. Hello, Tailgate. Welcome to the stream. You were at the countryside at the end of the weekend, meeting your relatives from the US. Oh, that's cool. And you got to see some friends' kittens. Kittens are always like, and puppies and dog puppies are always the best way to recharge during any day. Any issues in your life are less, well, they are slightly better if you can just, meet a puppy or whatever. Yeah, I love these entrances. They were so cool in giving you the feel, the worth of your exploration. Like you know that this is a secret passage and that you are the only one exploring these ancient temples. The way in which Origins did this, I think it's unrivaled to this day. Or Odyssey was not able to do this. Valhalla was very good in many aspects, but not. I wouldn't say in conveying the feeling of exploring ancient temples. Maybe in these two sections, maybe. Master Assassin Zuxio, welcome to the stream. This game was fun, but shame it was so easy after they added the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. Not sure. If you're putting the very hard difficulty, it can be pretty harsh, especially the boss battles, in my opinion. Some of those battles were pretty harsh. The elephants, I remember I had quite some trouble defeating the elephants boss battles. My family's cats are older now, so it's easy to forget how small they can be when they're kittens. Yeah. Sary is very familiar with cats and dogs of any age. She's a vet, so she knows a thing or two about cats and dogs. Instant boost. Well, the instant boosts in the games are there, but I think that all the AC games, even the recent ones, you don't need the instant boosts to finish the game in a normal way. Instant boosts are very much there only, if you'd like to spend some money in order to get to the end faster. Maybe Odyssey. In Odyssey, you can use the boost to finish earlier because the game can be harsh on your leveling up, and it requires some specific levels in order to finish some of the main quests. But other than that, I mean, of course, it depends on your playstyle. If you do a lot of side quests, you're never gonna need the instant boosts. Lena, I hate not played this game. Oh, you haven't played this game in a long time, but still remember the elephants and hated them. Yes, I think that the elephants were the how are they called? Like master ships from AC4, the equivalent of the boss ships, the ships boss fights in AC4. I still have a lot of good and bad memories about those ships, and the same goes for the elephants here. But at the same time, I do believe that the recent games at least have different degrees of difficulties in the various fights that you can undertake. So I'm not too sad that there are some difficult encounters to do. Otherwise, players might believe that the game is can only be easy without any tough encounters. Oh, yeah, your phone turns the word in Finnish. Don't worry about that. Elephants were like the legendary ship battles. Yeah, well, in my opinion, they were. I would say that it's only my judgment, but the legendary ships were much tougher than the elephants, in my opinion. But they were tough nonetheless in here as well. I would say the toughest boss fight to memory for me was the tank in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Well, the 100% sync for the tank in Brotherhood. I remember giving the middle finger to the screen when I completed that after 20 attempts or 30 attempts. That was me in 2010. Now I just scream at the sometimes I scream at the screen, but without middle fingers. Hello, Mr. Meme. Welcome to the stream. Ondra, welcome. Mr. Meme, did you play Marvel's Spider-Man? I did not, but I watched Sary here playing Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4, and it was amazing. I think they announced the remastered very recently in the recent State of Play, which is pretty cool. We still have to play the Miles Morales game, but like Spider-Man was an incredible game. Like the way in which the game feels so fluid when you do navigation and when you are jumping around New York is pretty incredible. I've never felt such freedom as in that game, honestly. One time you punched the screen, Steve Samar? Okay. That's the melee version of throwing a Wii, what's it called? A Wii joystick to the screen from back in the day. I raced so hard at Leonardo's tank mission, yes. And also very much, I hated the flying machine in Brotherhood. The flying machine mission in Brotherhood. I think that got me even angrier than the tank mission. But it wasn't a boss fight in itself. was it? No, it was just a mission, and the 100% sync there was insane. Mnemonic Syntax, welcome to the stream. So nice to see you. I really wish that there was an Animus control panel for Odyssey. Oh yes, I wish that in Odyssey and Valhalla as well. We could toy with that in a future stream. The Animus control panel was indeed a game changer. It was an idea that they had towards the end of the post-launch for Origins, and basically, if you're playing on PC, you can change stuff in the game. You could change quantities of stuff. You could change the parameters of a lot of features, and it was incredible. Like, you could tailor the game on you, and you could have, you know, crazy stuff. You could have several different animals following you. You could feel it was incredible back then. Miles Morales is one of the best games I've ever played. So fun, and I'm only at the beginning of the game. Well, that's a signal. We should play Miles Morales. She's like, nah. I mean, we did enjoy that. Like, but she's a purist. She likes Peter Parker Spider-Man and not Miles Morales. I would love to play that anyway at some point. The Spider-Man remaster has been out for a while on PS5. By now, a PC port. Oh, it's a PC port on both Spider-Man games got announced. Okay. Yeah, I saw some of the tweets of some non-Sony fans that said, hey, that's another exclusive that was announced as an exclusive, and with time, it dropped the exclusive status. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Honestly, during the state of play, my mind and eyes were only focused on Resident Evil 4 remake. Both me and Sary, were huge fans of Resident Evil 4. Back then, we played it so much, and we finished it so many times. So we are super excited to see that there's a remaster. Well, it's actually a remake. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. Anyone here remember the stress with the Storm Fortress legendary battle in Rogue? Yes, I do. That was crazy as well. I mean, the AC games do have those incredibly tough boss battles in the main games, especially. That sometimes you might need 10 to 20 attempts to do them. XXX Plane, welcome to the stream. The movie with Miles was good. You mean the animated one? I remember both the animated movies were incredible. I loved them to the 2 bits. Do you think there will be a crossover between Odyssey and Origins? I'm not sure. Not sure. Odyssey versus Origins. Thanks for the question, Mariam. I would say I would like that, because that would imply Cassandra meeting Aya or Bayek, and I would say that there's no other way. I mean, I would imagine Ubisoft to push on the current game, so Valhalla crossing over with Origins. And the way they could do that, also according to some of the leaks, is that in Valhalla you could meet Caesarion. There are rumors about meeting the ghost or the hallucination of Caesarion, who is the son of Cleopatra and Caesar. And Eivor could, she could get drugged as she usually does, and she could see the hallucination of Caesarion, and he could tell some stories about Bayek and Aya, because in the Origins comics, Caesarion is enlisted in the Hidden Ones by Amunet, by Aya, so we could I don't know, see Cesarion telling the story about this, and then you go to Origins and you play this story about Cesarion and Aya. That could be something to play, maybe in Ancient Rome. But other than that, I'm not sure. If it were Odyssey and Origins, we could see Cassandra going to Egypt. I mean, they did show that they can do a lot of stuff in Odyssey already. They can create a new map. So if they are able to do that in Origins as well, they could do Odyssey and Origins. It's a very difficult attempt because they wouldn't focus on any of the new game, on any part of the new game in Valhalla, but it would be pretty interesting. Like, you know, focusing fully on nostalgia, that's incredible. That would be incredible, and I think that a lot of fans would like that. Ninja Wolves, no, we're playing on PC, so we are playing on ultra high, but and I think that the 60 FPS are also set in here. I hope, I think they are, but we are not playing on console. So pretty much these are the settings on PC on ultra high. So that also very much implies 60 FPS. In my opinion, we will not have new AC content this year. XX explained, depending on what you define as AC content, I would say that there's going to be more content for Valhalla to justify calling it year 2. We still have Tombs of the Fallen coming up, hopefully. There's going to be New Game Plus, and hopefully again, the end of Eivor's journey in Vinland. So at least I think we can hope for those 3 pieces of content. And we might get an announcement about AC Rift at some point. That's what I am expecting for the second half of 2022. I feel like Eivor is no more but a drug addict. Actually, at some point, I wanted to do a video on all the times that Eivor got drugged or high or had some hallucinations in the game and the DLC. I think it happens at least 10 to 20 times. And it gets boring if you think about it. You don't notice that if you play content to content to content, because it doesn't happen all the time. And if you play the content with some time in between, you may not remember, but Eivor gets drugged a few times in the main game, or she gets drugged, or she inhales any kind of foul air. For example, the daughter of Lyrion, she gets drugged to see them. When she sees the white elk in the main game, that's also she is drugged. In the Sigurd Blood Festival, she gets drugged. In the Tombs of the Fallen, she gets drugged. I mean, this is one of the main justifications that the devs had in order to have magical stuff in Valhalla, and it's getting very, very boring. I mean, at this point, we're almost at the end of the post-launch for Valhalla. I hope it doesn't happen that much in the future. So yeah. Wizards of Warplay, welcome to the stream. What's your favorite Bayek beard and hair combination? I'm gonna say my favorite is bald with no beard most of the times, but I do enjoy playing the what's it called? Rasta hair plus beard. The rough kind of Bayek, the one that we're having now. I think that after this part of the game, the canon version of Bayek, the one that tries to find redemption throughout this story, and also at the end of the story, is a Bayek that keeps himself clean, the way he also tried to clean his life and his soul. So that's pretty much my that's how I believe him to be canon in a way. if you're thinking about him in his old age, I would imagine him with a beard, though. Until now, the year 2 of Valhalla is very disappointing, yeah, I would say. Overall, yes. I think that there have been some highs here and there, but the lows have been a lot. Dawn of Ragnarok had some very good gameplay. Siege of Paris had a very cool city to play with. The lighting in Siege of Paris was very good. Wrath of the Druids had an interesting world, even though it was very dark a lot of times. And it rained a lot of times, as is the case in Ireland. But overall, the story of these pieces of content was not amazing. The characters also. So the execution in general was not great. And also the free content was not always great. So yeah, I do agree with that. It is 4:27 a.m. in Australia. Wow. Well, Master Assassin, thanks for joining us even at such a late time. It's very kind of you to still join us even if it's so late. Hello, Precise Climber. Welcome to the stream. So nice to see you again. Kazikage, well, not the entire side content. Yeah, not the entire side content was bad, but there was a few. There were a few not amazing elements here and there. I stopped playing Valhalla after I finished Dawn of Ragnarok. I mean, what they did after Dawn of Ragnarok was pretty much Mastery Challenge and the loadouts feature, so you haven't lost a lot. You could play the story of Mastery Challenge if you're interested in that. Or you could have a look at our analysis and videos and call it a day. No game sound? Maybe we could raise it a little bit. Let us check. Are you guys hearing the game sound? Let me check as well. Yeah, no, I'm not hearing the game sound, I think. Well, anyway. I hear a lot of background noise, though. Yeah, no game sound for... Okay, well, we're gonna try and see if this works. If it doesn't, we're gonna see if we can... if we can make it. Anyway, I'll be back to the chat in the meantime. Do you think there will be a 4th DLC? No, I don't think so. My idea is that, well, if you're calling it like a main expansion, I don't think there's going to be one. It's okay. If we don't get the game sound, I don't know why it's not getting it, but we're going to play while you guys are here. Sorry about that. Then we're going to try and have a look at that later. Yeah, as I was saying, I don't expect to have a 4th DLC. If you consider DLC the main expansions, I think. Well, it was leaked that there's going to, like, the 4th DLC for Valhalla was turned into AC Rift, so I don't think that there's going to be another 4th DLC in there. But there have been some leaks by Andy Reloads about some more content potentially coming up with the river raids. There might be some more river raids in the various realms, which so in the mythological realms. So we could have some of those. I wouldn't call that a DLC though. And also what I mentioned earlier. So Tunes of the Fallen, the End in Vinland. The End in Vinland, if they actually did that, I would consider that as a DLC, depending on what they're going to do with that. If it's actually going to be just a cutscene or whatever. There will be more Helix Store items, yes, that's for sure. They never spare having those, so I wouldn't be surprised about that. Dawn of Ragnarok was really fun with an awesome story. The Odin abilities were an amazing change. I wasn't I wasn't a huge fan of the first, second, and third act, honestly. There were some nice elements that tied the story to Assassin's Creed 3 and a lot of First Civilization elements in there, which I really loved, honestly. That's why the fourth and fifth episode of our analysis were more positive than negative, but the setup and the execution of the story I wasn't a huge fan of. But the abilities, they were indeed an amazing change. The powers were incredible. Hey, Elena, welcome to the stream. I didn't see you earlier, so welcome. So glad you made it. Optic Gamer, I already answered. I found this channel back when you guys cracked the Excalibur myth. Yeah, back then it was crazy. Like the Excalibur myth, the Isu language secret was so crazy. The collector's edition mystery, we spent, I think, a few months on it. Putting all the hints together, cracking the language, and then having a look at the words on the collector's edition, which allowed to find a way to get the Nodens Arc bow. Back then, that was crazy. A lot of people enjoyed that. And also, which is quite unusual, we also ended up on some of the gaming journalists' websites, which was pretty surprising, to be honest. We also had some Italian journalists coming to us in the email asking for questions and an interview, which was again pretty surprising. Elena, I finished the main quest in Valhalla today. It was underwhelming compared to the other AC game. I'm gonna say the main story in Valhalla, the ending, I really loved it, honestly. Oh, there might be some audio. Let me check.
He's in Camp Shetje as well.
Oh, there's the end. So, okay, Sary was able to put on the audio for the game in the background. Can you guys hear it as well? But yeah, oh yes, Elena, you can hear the game now. Thank you guys so much. I'm happy that we were able to keep it alive. So yeah, what was the part that you didn't like in Valhalla in the ending? I honestly very much liked the plot twists at the end, the Basim plot twist, Eivor's ending. I kind of liked, but it was like the Basim plot twist at the end that kind of shocked me. The Alethea one as well. Audio is back. Yes. Okay. I started following ATA before Valhalla's release. Really? I mean, yeah, we started in August of 2020 when we rehashed the channel with the news about Valhalla and whatnot. When Ubisoft gave us the chance to, try Valhalla in advance for the press event. So we were able to relaunch the channel and focus on that way more than on our articles on the website that we're still having, by the way. So yeah, your work is amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Master Assassin Zuxia. We do try our best to, explain, the secrets of the French, but also to have some more, deep cut into the lore in order to have a look at some of the things that the games themselves sometimes are not. Well, it's not easy to understand what they are conveying. So sometimes we do try to have focuses on on stories and characters there are that we feel they might need to be expanded upon. Elena, I think because I knew how it ended. Okay, it didn't hit me as much. I did cry when Hanwell died. Yes. Maybe you were talking about the final ending, the Hamptonshire ending. Yeah, the Hamptonshire ending, it's more like it's not an ending in itself. Like, main ending is the Yggdrasil ending, and then that's sort of like an epilogue. But yeah, that part was it had a lesser shock value, but you are seeing some of the characters that you have met throughout the story die there, which is pretty important for Eivor, and especially when Hunwald died. I also had my heart broken. Like they built the character pretty well. Klajwerju, hope I pronounce your name, your nickname properly. I like Valhalla ending as well. It was impressive how they connected the East to the Northsmith and the Creed. Yes, I did like that. Compared to the ending of Origins and Odyssey, I think I enjoyed the ending in Valhalla way more, especially because in that case, the Isu and the modern day were involved way more than in Origins and Odyssey's endings. So yeah, that's also why I very much like that. And there were some plot twists in there, which, I mean, Odyssey's ending had Cassandra, yes, which was also very important for the game. But I had a lot of gripes with Alethea and Cassandra in the modern day, so I wasn't as receptive as I was when playing Valhalla. Do a flip with the bird, it's fun to watch. Okay. I think we can do that. They're asking in the chat if we can do a flip with the bird. Sary doesn't know. Can I? Okay, let's have Senu do a flip. There we go. That was nice. Back then, they added this thing. And I don't think that they actually told the players. Like, players found out on their own to do the flip. Which is pretty cool, and they kept it in Odyssey and Valhalla. Do you think we will get Eivor and Aya crossover? That would be amazing. I think that we might. Like I mentioned earlier, it was asked in the chat earlier. I think we might, but it's not going to be like Aya meeting Eivor. As we had Cassandra meeting Eivor, because the only character that we know that is able to survive through time is Cassandra. So if it was an Aya and Eivor, it must be some kind of, I don't know, Eivor finds a document written by Aya, or like I mentioned earlier, Eivor meets the hallucination. So the Phantom of Caesarion, who is the son of Cleopatra and Caesar, who was kind of like inducted in the Hidden Ones Brotherhood by Aya. So we might have that kind of connection, but of course they cannot meet each other. Yeah, I would like to see, it would be weird, but also I would like to see Cassandra meet Aya, so they're both direct descendant and ancestor, so it would be nice to see this weird thing happening, like, hey, grandma, how are you doing? That would be weird but nice as well. Jordan Jones Origins, then Valhalla, then Odyssey. I'm not sure. If I consider the main games, I would say Valhalla, then Origins, then Odyssey. If I consider them plus the post-launch, probably I would say Origins, then Valhalla. Yeah, Origins, then Valhalla, then Odyssey. Because the main game for me, like Valhalla's main game for me, was pretty good. Even if it had some filler content that could be avoided and didn't necessarily have to be part of the main game, but I would say, like, in terms of main game, Valhalla was superior to the other games, in my opinion, of course. Crafting Ranger, welcome to the stream. You missed Origins. Well, here we are. So that you can still miss it, but at least we're here having fun with it. While Sary is trying to find our bandits occupying the cave. So Sary needs to find the entrance to the cave. Where might it be? Could be around there. Maybe, who knows? How Aya would be dead years and years before Eivor, yes. So that's what I meant earlier. I think that the Eivor could meet, quote unquote, meet Aya only if Aya used some kind of piece of Eden to send a message across time, or if Eivor found, I don't know, a letter or something. Of course, they cannot meet each other directly, but the way in which Ezio saw Desmond's projection through the apple, or the way in which Ezio found the memories of Altair in Revelations. That's a way for characters to meet across time, but of course not, in the flesh. Marcus, which company makes the best games? Do you think EA, Guerrilla, Naughty Dog, Rockstar, or Sucker Punch? Choose one only. Man, that's a tough question. I'm gonna say Guerrilla. Only because I'm a huge fan of Horizon. Then probably Naughty Dog. Because the experience that I had with Naughty Dog games was incredible as well. EA, not a huge fan, even if I'm playing the Jedi game these days. I started it the other day. Now that I'm in a Star Wars period, and I've watched pretty much almost all the movies, watched all the animated series, all the Disney Plus series. I also finished reading a Darth Vader comic today. So I'm also playing Star Wars as well. But other than that, I'm not a huge fan of the EA games. Also, question to the chat: what game company do you like besides Ubisoft? Let's hear what you guys are saying in the chat. Valhalla was far from a Viking game. I would say that Valhalla was far from an assassin game, and it had a lot of Viking features. Though it had a lot of assassin traits. I mean, the hidden ones were there. A lot of the gameplay features that you would imagine connected to an assassin, they were there. They needed a lot of refinement. Some, like parkour, still need them. I don't expect them to happen at this point. But I would say it was way more a Viking game than an Assassin's Creed game. Than an assassin game. Because it was very much an Assassin's Creed game. Especially in the story. Also in the gameplay as well. There was a lot of RPG in there for sure. But to me it was a very good compromise between the old kinds of games and the new ones. CD Projekt Red. Yeah. Bobson, welcome to the stream. That's also a very good answer. CD Projekt Red, especially for the Witcher franchise that I've played. I don't think I've ever finished any Witcher game. I think I started all of them and never finished any of them because I get lost in the side content and never finish them. Sometimes every now and then I go back to them, but still don't complete them. The Magus Codex was like a crossover. Yes, in a way you could say that. The Magus Codex is like this set of documents telling the story of Amunet as the leader of the Hidden Ones in Rome, and that was very cool, honestly. Not sure. Yeah, it could be considered sort of like a crossover between. At the end of that, you can also find a document voiced by Abubakar Salim, so by Bayek as well. So that was really cool. But again, after the kind of crossover that we have seen, I wouldn't imagine a lot of players to consider that a proper crossover, more like a connection. So again, if they were to have a crossover between Ava and Aya, it would have to be some more tangible one, like through some pieces of Eden or something. Hello, I love this update. It's definitely changing this game. George, welcome to the stream. Yes, I do agree with that. We're not feeling that much because we're playing on PC, so the 60 FPS were there already. But I have seen some videos online, especially the one by Yoraptor, and he did show how it changed from 30 FPS to 60 FPS. Like the way you move, the way you feel the game world around you, it feels much more fluid. It does feel like a different game. So I do suggest you guys go back to Origins and try that. Steve Simar, I'll see you later. Oh, Elena said hi, Sary, when you died. Elena knows her stuff. Good job, because you remembered. That's how you do it. Thank you so much, Elena, for that. Bad time for you. Keep up the amazing work, ATA. Thank you so much, Master Assassin Zuxio, and thanks for joining us, even if it's so late in Australia. Thank you so much. Where is Charsley? We have moved from AC3 to Origins because we felt it was the right time after the update that was released last week. We will probably have. We'll see what happens during this week. We'll probably have another Origins stream next week, and then we'll see whether we can go back to either Unity or AC3 or Origins or maybe Valhalla as well. I don't think we have any roadmap for what is happening in June and July on Valhalla, so we might go back to Valhalla if they announce anything happening in the game in the coming weeks. What difficulty are you playing now? I think that is easy. Sary selected easy so that we can go faster through the story and through the missions.
And still die.
And Sary still dies. But that's, every time Sary has Bayek dying, remember, keep saying hi, Sary, in the chat.
But also not, I mean.
No, keep doing that. I'm sure that, well, I'm going to enjoy that. she won't really, but yeah. On Xbox Series X, Origins is now 60 FPS at 4K. I haven't tried that because on the day where the patch was released, I have it on Xbox Series X. The patch was not available, so then I moved on to the PC and never went back to on Origins on the Series X. But I will because I've seen some videos showing how it is on the Series X, and it's incredible. Connor and Bayek crossover. Connor skins Senu. Just the white guy. Welcome to the stream. I can't imagine Connor skinning Senu. I'll always respect Valhalla for how it referenced basically every game in big and small ways. I agree. Wizard of Wordplay. I think Darby even mentioned this before the game released, and if he mentioned that, I did believe that, but at the same time, I was like, how can the game does that? How can the game do that? But it did. There are pretty much, in every way, there are references to very much almost all the games. From AC1 to, there's Ezio in AC2, in the Jotunheim arc is referenced there. There's stuff from Revelations. There's stuff from every game, I would say. Valhalla was very lore heavy, which is why I loved it. Jitin, welcome to the stream. By the way, it's almost time for another Formula 1 race, Jitin. So it means it's also almost time for another disappointment by Ferrari, so I can't wait. I hope it's going to be better soon. Is there a way to disable the character glow when hiding in the grass? I don't think so. I don't think so. Even in Valhalla, I don't think you can. Can you? I don't think so. This is classic Sary killing the
It's not dead.
camels and horses and all.
Not dead.
Well, he's not dead, so nothing happened here. Please go on. Sary is a gamer. She will be fine. Yeah, sure she is.
About what?
I don't know, but I mean, we were talking about saying hi, Sary, but I'm sure that you will manage the mission without any hindrance. I'm sure about that. Arno and Shay crossover. I would love to see that, but I don't, like I mentioned in some of the previous streams, I don't see them going back to the engine from Syndicate and Unity. I would love to see that. To see Shay appear in Unity in some way or form, but I don't see that happening. Unless they remaster Unity at some point. Or they remake it. Who knows? My favorite part about Valhalla was getting to play where my hometown is. I think you might have mentioned that already. Which was your hometown? I might have forgotten. I think we have discussed this already in some of the past streams. Fire is the biggest killer in Origins, yes. And Ferrari took a loss in Monaco. Alright, it was so painful to watch, yes. It was so painful for us as well. Man. Let's not get back to that. I really have erased it from my memory. It never happened. Monaco never happened last week. Bart, auto-generated by Bart Tech Enterprises. Welcome to the stream again. What about droid attack on the Wookiees? What about that? Which droid attack on the Wookiees? Camel has legs of steel, just like Desmond. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And especially if you're playing on easy, their legs will even be stronger. Where and when do you want to see the new AC game? I mean, at this point we already know that it might be in the Middle East. So, if it was another new AC game, I'm very biased. I would like to see it in ancient Rome or Japan, medieval Japan. I'm very biased, but also very predictable as well. Like Japan, I would imagine that at this point Japan is the setting that a lot of people have been asking for and that still hasn't been delivered in the main games, along with China, but China has been explored in many games already, and mangas as well and whatnot. And well, Xiaojun has so many pieces of lore already tied to her, so I would expect, I would say, and I would love also to see Ubisoft doing the thing and going to medieval Japan. I know that now Ghost of Tsushima is out, and there will be comparisons with Ghost of Tsushima, but it would be a huge pity if they never did Japan. I absolutely can expect Japan to happen at some point. I want ancient China full game. Yes, that would be cool to see as well. The droid attacks the Wookiees in Australia? What? I was replaying Red Dead Redemption 2 and then binge watching Clint Eastwood's westerns, hence missed the last two streams. Oh, that's understandable. I mean, when you get into the loop of a game or of a franchise in general, sometimes it's very tough to stay away from it. I'm experiencing this with Star Wars now. Like, every time I am alone and I have some spare time and I'm not, doing stuff for ATA or working or whatever, or spending time with my family, I'm always doing Star Wars stuff, like all the time. When I'm eating alone, I'm watching a Star Wars movie or series. When I'm waiting in a queue, I'm reading a Star Wars comic or whatnot. Like, that is what franchises can do to hardcore fans sometimes. So I do understand, playing Red Dead Redemption and then watching Clint Eastwood movies and stuff. One game that got a trailer during the State of Play last week that I'm really excited for is the Callisto Protocol. I watched it. Well, I watched part of the trailer. I don't think I watched the whole of it. And a lot of people said that it's a spiritual successor to Dead Space. We haven't played that. There was a time when we spent so much, like Sary and I spent so much time playing horror games. Sometimes we do as well. Like last year we played Resident Evil 7. And at the start of last year, or the year before, we played the other Resident Evil games. I think we should play at some point Dead Space. I think they are remaking it, and there was a rumor that Ashraf Ismail was actually directing that, but it was a fake rumor actually. So we might go to the remake at this point and maybe play Callisto Protocol after that. I'm on my third playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2 and I can't count the number of times my horse died and I had to reload an old save. Oh, because you want to keep that exact horse? Like, are you connected to him or her? Because I tended to do that in Red Dead. Like, hey, this is my horse. I don't want her because it was a she. I want her to die. Never. My favorite setting that I want to see is China during the Mongol rule and Marco Polo while playing as missionaries that died on the way to Beijing. Wow! That's a very specific time frame and a specific setting. That's interesting. That's not one of the classic settings that you would expect fans to ask for, which is nice. I always like seeing when fans are asking for not the usual stuff that you would expect. That would be incredible. And there are a lot of Marco Polo references already in the games, so there could be some very interesting lore ties. AC in ancient Poland. I don't know a lot of the history. I don't know much about the history of Poland. That would be interesting to see. AC in Ukraine. I don't think Ubisoft would do that. Not now for sure. Yeah, the rumor about Ashraf working on the remake was false. Yes, I think it was Eric Baptista that was hired to do the Dead Space remake, or somebody else. And there were a few articles that said they wrote that it was Ashraf Ismail, but it wasn't him. So yeah. On my second playthrough, Kazakage, of Red Dead Redemption 2, I kept the horse that Arthur gets at Sadie's house in the Coulter chapter. Ooh. You are a romantic one, aren't you?
I should bring Senua up there.
Hello assassins, welcome to the stream, Max. Welcome. What's the appeal of Star Wars? I mean, I have watched the original 6 movies and the awful new ones, but without the old original actors, the ones you actually get attached to, it just doesn't feel good. I would suggest, Jatin, to watch some of the Disney Plus series, and also if you have some spare time to watch the animated one, especially Clone Wars, because it's a blast to the past. It adds information to what you know from the early movies. It hits you in the feeling because you get to know some new characters that are very important, and those are also characters that now they do have or will have a dedicated series as well, like Ahsoka. And at the moment, there's also a new series about Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's also, yes, like you mentioned, it's a character from the old movies, not the new ones. And in general, they haven't done a lot of, side content or TV series or whatnot about the new trilogy, the most recent trilogy, probably because fans hated it a lot. There's going to be some new content. I think they announced some new content about the same time frame as the new trilogy, but I'm not sure about that. Give me that 1920s Assassin's Creed teased in Unity. I would love to see that. I would love to see any kind of Assassin's Creed in the early 20th century. Having, I don't know, gangsters or that kind of vibe. There was a comic called Assassin's Creed Templars, and the first 5 issues were took place in Singapore in the 1920s or something like that, and the atmosphere in there, it was drawn by Dennis Calero, and it was incredible. If you have some spare time now, it shouldn't cost even that much. The first narrative arc of Assassin's Creed Templars, the comic, is very good, especially to look at and to watch. The story is also interesting, but in that case, the visuals of that comic are so good. Clone Wars was 11 out of 10, yes. Especially the last 4 seasons. I'm one of the people who enjoy old trilogies and most modern content for Disney Plus, yes. And at this point, Disney Plus now will have, at the same time, they will have Marvel series and Star Wars series, like next, like the day after tomorrow, there's going to be also both Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi on the same day, I think, which is going to be pretty crazy. Yeah, Templars. Gamer Lil, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. We also featured some of your clips in our most recent video. Thanks for joining us in the stream. And yeah, Templars was so great. The atmosphere, the visuals. Dennis Calero was so great in doing that. Like the whole of the comic was great. The first 5 issues that took place in Singapore, they were incredible, I would say. The only comics that were better than that were The Fall, The Chain, the comics drawn by, of course I forgot their names, but the first comics dedicated to Nikolai Orlov and Daniel Cross. They were, to me, they're a little better than Templars, but the atmosphere in that comic was amazing. I want Assassin's Creed to go on, still so much to do, and more in the style of AC Origins, which had the perfect mix of old and new. I want to visit Rome in the 60 AD during Nero era. That would be crazy. I'm sure that Ubisoft would not love, but if they did that era, they would do Rome in flames, which would be crazy. Oh, thank you so much, Gamer Lil. I think your name is Augusto. I hope it's not wrong, because I've been following your channel as well for quite some time. In and out. I haven't been able to follow all your videos, but you're doing a great job as well, man.
Some weapons bounce right off it.
Oh man, Bobson, I would love to know what you're writing, but I can't because it's in Polish. I think that's our first purple item, but we cannot use it. Striking the anvil. Bringing back dead characters, the junk can move on from the original 6 months. Layla Gusto, yes, okay, good. So, if you guys have been in our most recent stream last Monday, there was a mention when we were talking about transmedia and additional books of the franchise, not the one about story, but visuals and other stuff. I think somebody mentioned in the chat that there was an Assassin's Creed cookbook, and I said we have it, and we were looking back in the library here, and we couldn't find it. But this time, I prepared in advance, and it is here. It's not what you would expect from an AC book, but if you guys were there last week, now is the time I can show you what the book is about. This is the French version. It was released, I think, in 2016, 2018. It has some, it is actually a book of recipes. This is the Magi Mashi. This is, and basically it has a lot of the Basbousa du Faucon. I think this is again about origins. I think this is a cake about a falcon, so I think it's still connected to origins. Wizard of Warplay. You started the cookbook shenanigans. This is a book in French, but it starts with characters. It has, as you can see, it has a profile of the character, and then it has recipes. It has some explanation about the setting. This is Altair, so you can see it has some pictures about the locations like Masyaf and Acre, and then it has a recipe connected to the setting and also to the location. This is the Mutabal of Masyaf, which I think is this kind of bread, because I'm not super fluent in French. This is the lamb in the fashion of the Franks, I think. So there are a lot of things that you can see. There's the part about Ezio di Torre, so there is carciofi Monteriggioni style. So this is more Italian kind of food, which is pretty interesting. Is there a setting that you would like to know the recipes of? There's, Connor. There's the soup, the soup of the Devonport mansion. This one with the tomahawk on the side, because of course you need to be protected at all times, even when you're eating. What else do we have? There's also stuff about Aveline. That's pretty cool. The Gombo Grand Prix. Not able to show it properly, but there we go. Can Sary do the super high viewpoint, the one that is just outside the temple? Can you, Sary? Oh, she hasn't heard me. Jetin is asking in the chat, can Sary do the super high viewpoint, the one that is just outside the temple?
Yeah.
Of course, I think we can. And there's also recipes about AC4 as well. Like the Salmingondi du Jacques. So yeah. This book is now, I think it's out in English as well. They released it recently, but I think that it was released a few years ago already. It is well known that eating soup is dangerous business. No, it's not. Come on. I mean, yeah. If you are, yeah, of course. If you are Connor, you need to. I mean, you need to keep your weapons close when you're eating, especially if you are an assassin. You need to be always. Nice one, Sary. I didn't know what. Nice one, Sary. I didn't even see what.
Almost died twice.
Oh, you almost died twice. Now that this has 60 FPS, I forgot how much I love this game. I think this is a great time to go back to Origins, because I don't think that they do 60 FPS patches like that for no reason at all. It was the case. I mean, it was not the case for Odyssey. They did the 60 FPS because now we're back to the Hemu scenes. They did the 60 FPS patch for Odyssey because they were planning the crossover. I would expect them to plan some kind of crossover now as well. At some point in the future. Nicholas, welcome to the stream. I didn't say that. And also, Assassin's Creed community, welcome back. So nice to see you again. 60 FPS patch on Game Boy 1. The good old Game Boy. You must be as old as me to know what a Game Boy is. I have been replaying it since Saturday. I do understand the feeling. I was not able to play a lot recently, but I'm happy that we are able to all play some of the AC games in the streams, so we can play, follow the stories, and at the same time have a nice chat. We're doing Odyssey, Valhalla main story, or any of the Ezio games for the next Monday stream. I think we'll see what happens during the week. If there's any motivation to go back to other games. If not, we probably will continue with Origins. In terms of Valhalla main story, we would have to start another save file. I'm not sure if we have some save files mid-game to do some main story. We'll have a look at that. But if nothing happens, we might continue with Origins. Every time I see Origins story, my need for a sequel in Rome is so big. Yes, I agree with that. I usually tend to say they've done Italy a lot of times already, so I don't expect that to happen. And then I remember how many times they did London and England, and I'm like, okay, they might go back to Italy at some point. So I would really love to see ancient Rome at some point. To see some of the events that haven't been portrayed in the Origins comics or in the ending of Origins. It'd be nice to either see Amunet in her own game, or to see the Hidden Ones in Rome some centuries after that, because like Rome has such a huge and long history that you could have an Assassin's Creed game in Rome at any time, honestly.
You can. Your arrow will have to become Senu.
Out of all the AC characters, Bayek has the greatest dad energy. Yeah, that's true.
You said you'd like to see the Pharaoh up close.
The other characters either have not been,
By his side.
have not had the chance to be a dad in their story or in their own game, or they haven't shown.
The first Magi was
But Bayek does show to be, does show to have that energy not only when he's with Hemu, but also after he dies. Because I mean, throughout the main story, you can find moments where he's such a caring man with kids. You can also see that in the ending of the game, which is amazing. Orpha, yes, we are playing on PC. Is it looking nice? I was worried that some of the feats would not show perfectly because we're still streaming in. Bless you. We're still streaming in 1080p, but yes, I set the game to ultra high. We are playing on an NVIDIA, what's it called, RTX 3070, so it's not the latest graphics card ever, but I think we have all the graphics power. I think the stream had an issue. The stream had an issue the moment I said I think we have all the graphic power we need. But yeah, I think that it does look incredible. And like I said in so many streams, this is the AC world that I love the most, even more than Paris. So being able to play the game on ultra high, I never had the chance to do that because I played Origins on PS4. So it is incredible to look at it the way it is. Bless you, Sary. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you.
What do Italians say when people sneeze? We do say salute, which means in itself it means health, but basically it pretty much it means may you be healthier in the future, pretty much.
Run home to your mother. Chenzera will be fine.
Blessed you, Sary. Hello, Matteo. Welcome to the stream. So glad you made it this week as well.
I'm scared. I don't want to go home.
We're having some issues in the
Just do
background,
what I say, please.
but it's gonna go.
Game, yeah.
Yeah, it's the game. It's gonna go away. Kind of like Hemu. Oh no.
That was so mean.
I was so mean. Yes.
I'm in
Glad to see Origins here. My favorite of the RPGs by far. Even if sometimes the story disappoints. It's a very. I do agree on everything you said. It's a very compact way to describe Origins. It's one of the best of the RPG games. Visually, it is stunning. It has some issues story-wise, I would say. Especially since you get to know about Flavius and that he's the main bad guy. After that, it kind of goes downhill. But other than that, I do like the game very much. So I'm happy that we are playing here today. Did you play every AC game? Yes. Short answer is yes, and I'm gonna say every AC game, also the mobile games and the PS Vita game, Project Legacy as well. So yeah, it's been a long time, but I think I played all the games. I haven't read all the books yet, because I'm trying to catch up on the ones that have been released only in French, and I'm getting there slowly but surely. I guess it's like German too, where you literally say health when someone sneezes. Very much the same. Origins really nailed the feel of traveling in its world. Every area was so unique. Yes, I also agree that like going on a camel across the sand dunes, or in Memphis with all the lush vegetation, and then going into arid areas and within the temples, it is so unique. Like what they did with Egypt, with the world, is incredible and unrivaled. Not only within the AC games, I would say also in many other games. Like the feel of the exploration in Origins is something that you don't see in a lot of other games. Surely you don't see that in Odyssey and Valhalla. I always wondered if Chenzira is the same child in the Pyramid secondary mission. I don't recall at all. I don't recall that. Ezio, Edward, and Blake are my favorite characters. Who's Blake? Blake? I don't remember. Is it a secondary character? I don't remember Blake. I only played Valhalla and started to play Black Flag. Take your time. There's a lot of good stuff in all the AC games. Not the same kind of good stuff. Like some games have good stories, some others have good gameplay. There's always some good stuff in there, though. So take your time. And if you feel like playing other AC games, there's always some value, even in playing the main games.
This is a waste of time! The boy is frightened. It's all right.
Wizard of Warplay, did you play the Watch Dogs Legion crossover DLC? No, because I didn't play Watch Dogs Legion, and I'm sad to say this, but I was very much turned off by the context and the visuals of Watch Dogs Legion. To me, it seemed like it was going too much over the top, and it wasn't just, you know, a society where you're living in now, maybe a few years from now, like a bit more technologized society compared to the one of today, but it felt like something very much in the future. It felt too futuristic to me, so I wasn't really interested in that. It wasn't what I felt to be Watch Dogs, and that also means that I did not play the Legion crossover DLC, but I watched some of the videos. Within our team, it was Soros's who played it. She took a lot of pictures. She made a review of that, and in that crossover DLC, there are also some Isu language letters. And thanks to that DLC, we also got to know how a letter is written and sounds. That should be the F, the F sound, which was not written anywhere else, and it was written in Watch Dogs, and I have no idea why. But yeah. I'm curious when history will come full circle. Oh, I missed the question. When history will come full circle, and when we'll meet Altair's father, Umar. I don't think we will, because unless they have a story to tell, they don't really want to explore a side character as a main character in a different story. So unless they really want to tell Umar's story, which is actually told in a bit in the Secret Crusade novel at the start, a bit, like there's a memory about Umar and what he does, and it's connected to Salahaddin, so it's very interesting in there, and it's also connected to the father of Abbas, who is the other assassin that we see in the... Wow, Bayek is very angry. This is another of the amazing performances by Abu Bakr Salim. Sary is covering her eyes. No, Hemu, yes. But yeah, so if you'd like to know more about Umar ibn Ahad, you can read the Secret Crusade novel. Origins was so good in terms of presentation, cutscenes, voice acting, etc. Valhalla can't compare, sadly. Claudio, I do agree with that. I do agree that in terms of presentation, it is incredible, and Valhalla is not quite there. The voice acting is very good. I'm a huge fan of Magnus Brun, but at the same time, I think that Abu Bakr Salim was a little up there in his performance there. Love this scene. Also, hi everyone. Captain Spaulding's Ice Cream, welcome to the stream. Matteo, I think this game handled the mythological part the best. I would say... well, Origins mythological part, like the main part, is just a hallucination that Bayek experiences. So nothing of that happens in the real world. And the same goes for the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. Like all the realms in the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC, all the story that happens in there is not real. It's an illusion by the Apple of Eden, so I can agree with that only.
Where did they want me to go?
Oh, they asked you to go. There should be a sync point, a very high sync point, close to the temple.
Of the moon?
Close to the Temple of the Moon, yes, in Siwa. It might be on a rock, though. I'm not sure. You could fly with Senu and see where it is. I absolutely don't recall anything about the map. So it could be on the other side, up there, maybe. Not sure. Should be up there, because there was a huge rock over Siwa where you could have a look at all the plain underneath it. Jetin, the viewpoint, sorry. Jetin, do you remember where it was? Is that the place that Sary pointed at? Might be that one. I wish that the Magi badge stayed on all outfits you can buy from the tailor shop. Maschio Fernando, welcome to the stream. Yeah, the Magi badge is very cool, especially when you get the golden one that Cleopatra gives Bayek. But yeah, it's not there all the times. I think Bayek is a really deep character. I was really drawn by his history. I do agree with that, Danny. He's a great character, and I would say that Abu's performance is also what made him so great. I personally wouldn't feel him. I wouldn't believe him to be such a great character if it wasn't for his performance as well. Evelyn could have a hood, but I loved her original outfit with the hat so much. Oh yeah, the tricorn. That was a very good outfit. And it also, you could feel like it could be an outfit of that time. More than having a hood and going around. Yes, you could have the hood. But Evelyn would have stood out very much if that was the case. Maybe we could meditate before it got up.
Oh.
I don't remember how you meditate. How do you meditate? I'm not even sure if you can meditate at this point. Maybe you can. It's not out of bounds. Just keep climbing. Yes. Yeah, Sary was just trying to meditate, but we can't. But I think that it could also be a nice vista if we're looking at Siwa during the night with the moon over us. Evelyn's outfit is one of my favorites. I do agree with that. I very much love Arno's outfit also as an outfit of its time. I think Arno's outfit is one of the most realistic for those times. Yeah, Abubakar Salim is a fantastic actor. He gave Bayek his passion. He made Bayek compelling, not just believable. I agree, Danny. And I think that very recently they cancelled the Raised by Wolf TV series that he was in as a main actor, and he was trying to have a campaign to have it back. I'm not sure if it's going to be actually relaunched or bought by somebody else, by like another TV corporate company. But yeah, he also has his own gaming studio, so he's a man of many talents. And this was the huge sync point, and now we are going back through the zip line. There we go. That's a very long way. Hatham, my hat is a taco. This camera angle is so good, yes. Really gives out the scale of the world, yes. I do agree. Every AC game has its own huge and very high sync point, viewpoint. Like the cathedral in AC1. Where you can have like this huge jump off of it. It's very cool. Scatha, welcome to the stream. You can't stay, but you wanted to say hello. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. So nice to see you today as well. Hope you're having a great day. You want to be a nudist assassin? Well, in Odyssey you can almost get there. You can have the towel outfit and almost be nude. Not fully nude, but you know, almost there. Jacob's default robes were great team. In my opinion, I agree. I agree. They were very much also like those are also like robes of their time. Like they are stuff that was used back then. Actually look like some regular guy, something that a regular guy would wear rather than a pure white cloak. Yes, Bayek's hands might hurt, like must hurt on the zip line. Yes, at least Eivor is using the axe to go down. I think Connor used the tomahawk on the zip lines. Were there zip lines in AC3? Yes, I think there were some of those. Jacob's outfit was amazing too. A lot of fans in the chat for Jacob's outfit. Not a lot. Not everyone is a fan though. Like Elena is not a fan. Just wish that in Syndicate they could keep the hood on. Yeah, that's very sad. Oh, Sary was looking at the apple. Too bad the description in there is just the Oracle's relic. Which of course doesn't work when we hold it, but the moment it shifts hands to somebody else, it works again. That's what it does when Flavius is using it. If I recall correctly, we can't use any of the powers of the Apple of Eden in Origins. I might be wrong though. So when ready to leave Siwa, speak to Hepzibah. Will Siwa ever know peace? I don't think so. It won't. Do you think that Arno is against the Assassin's Creed? He literally helps the monarchists and the reactionary Templars and twists the meaning of the Assassin's Creed in the finale. I think that Arno has to learn about the creed, and when the game is over, when the main game is over, he hasn't. He's not an assassin anymore, and some time has to pass before he becomes again an assassin. He in the main game he's always an assassin that, you know, he behaves as an assassin, but very much is always oriented towards Elise, well, most of the time at least. And when Elise dies, surely he's not very into the assassins, and it's only until the Dead Kings DLC when he realizes and he says, I am an assassin, and that's an amazing moment that is just a side dialogue. It's not even in a cutscene, and it's one of the, I think, one of the best Arno moments for me. And this is the loading screen, and Sary is showing it to me because... Sorry, what?
Present day.
Oh, we're going on to the present day. Oh yes, I forgot about this. Okay, let's have our first scene of Layla Hassan in one of her most hateful performances. Well, not by the actress, not by the voice actress. This is actually Layla at her worst. Both in this scene and, well, all the modern day scenes in Origins. Honestly, I hate all of those. They wanted to portray Layla as this edgy engineer that is a know-it-all kind of character, like she knows everything, so she is cocky, and this means that she knows it better than anyone. And this this thing about knowing it better than everyone else gets her friend killed, and gets her hunted by the Templars, and it's only thanks to somebody else, that is William, when she... So, I'm not really a huge fan of Layla. In Origins, especially. Shay assassinated Leon? Both are annoying. Arno is what would have happened to Connor if he didn't kill Lee. Oh, now it's a proper ATA stream. I was wondering when Dasha would have barked, and we're already 1 hour and a half into the stream. Was beginning to get worried. Here we are interacting with the
Who are you talking to?
Bayek grave.
Real chatterbox, that one.
Come forth by day and I will guide you home. That's something that Bayek I think says at the end of the game
Don't
as
forget
well.
the alcohol wipe.
Or something that Bayek does at the end of the game when he
I wish I was there
takes
to
the
help.
kid home. But also I think it was also part of one of the song that one of the old ladies sang to him, I think, in one of the missions. Layla, I scream at sand when I'm frustrated, Hassan. Yes, I hated that scene so much. It was not planned, but I liked Layla's arc, being from an arrogant person to a tragic hero at the end of Valhalla, having to pay for her sins. Yes, I very much loved what they did with Layla at the end of Valhalla. I don't think they were able to fully redeem her because too much damage was done with Origins and Odyssey. Like, she is such a negative character, such an arrogant character, both in Origins and Odyssey. At the end of Fate of Atlantis, she's almost a villain, which I hated. So being able to redeem her, or at least try to redeem her in just 30 minutes of present day in Valhalla, maybe 1 hour, is a good job that they did, that the devs did. So kudos to the devs. I very much liked the first scene in the modern day in Valhalla where she's smoking and she's under the influence of the staff, or she's worried about the influence of the staff. That was a crazy scene. I love that, with the music and all. Layla is annoying, but her friend in Origins is unbearable. Yeah, well, Diana is also unbearable, but at least she's trying to care for Layla, while Layla is just caring about trying to get back into Sophia Rikin's projects, which never happens, by the way. There's nothing going on for Layla in Origins. Yeah, I mean, Layla in Origins is just there. You have a PC where you can find a lot of files, so that's at least kind of interesting. You have a sequence where you can kill some Abstergo guards, and that's it. And then you meet William at the end. So not a lot is happening, but some events are there. I think that the next... Oh, we are in Yamu, so this is not the objective story, but Yamu and the Temple of Sekhmet are some very nice locations. I remember the story in there. There was a fight where you have to dress as Sekhmet and you get the Sekhmet armor, which was pretty cool, at least for photo mode.
Do be quick. I will await you here.
Origins theme is a banger, yes. It's one of the best themes in the franchise, and of course it was done by Sarah Schachner, who is one of my 3 favorite composers. That would be Lorne Balfe, Jesper Kudd, and Sarah Schachner. One of the kid protagonists from Last Descendants would have made a far better protagonist than Layla. Yes. And it would have been cool to have one of the kids from Last Descendants, because even if he had a backstory, it would have been a kid, so it could have been like a new story without the need for the backstory. So would have been nice to have one of those kids. Maybe one day in an Assassin's game, Ubisoft could show a mission showing the memory of some Isu and what their society was like. I've been longing for that. I wouldn't like an entire game on that, but like having 2 or 3 missions in an Isu environment, a real Isu environment, not that mythological blah blah, would be very interesting to see. And I think at some point I heard rumors that it could have been the plan for some of the games, and then it was scrapped. But yeah, I hope that it's going to happen at some point. Oh, we have crocodiles now. We have to kill all of them because they are threatening Claudius. Then Sary is speeding through Origins. Yeah, the good thing that we are doing in the... I mean, it is good for me at least. When we are playing in the streams, we're going just through the story. We're not doing side stuff. Side stuff is like if you enjoy that kind of content, and if you'd like us to do specific stuff, just ask us in the chat, like Chapin did earlier. But other than that, we're going to go through the story so we can have more story elements that we can discuss if we happen to go through them. So yeah, took me 3 hours just to get to the Alexandria part. I think to me, when I played the first time, it took me even more because I tend to explore and use photo mode a lot, and this was the first game with photo mode, so I spent so much time taking pictures back then. The lighting in Origins was perfect. The whole day-night cycle looks amazing. I agree. And it's not quite there with Odyssey, which was building upon this engine. Wait, did Sary go stargazing in Siwa? I don't think so. I don't think so, because like Sary just went through the story, so I don't think she did the what was it called? Stone circles or something. Sarah Schachner is decent. Lauren Balfe is very messy, though Brian Tyler and Stephanie Economou were much better. I agree on Stephanie Economou. I do like what Brian Tyler did as well. I think that Stephanie Economou did a great job with what she did with the DLCs, with Siege of Paris, and especially with Dawn of Ragnarok. It's one of the high points of Dawn of Ragnarok, in my opinion. Like the soundtrack was so cool. There are some tracks that I back then I kept listening to over and over and over again. It will be fun to see the small Final Fantasy crossover. Oh, that's very far from here though. I think it's close to the pyramids, wasn't it? I absolutely don't remember what it was in the map. Oh, the stargazing quest was in Siwa. We might go back to that later. Yeah, can you do the thing where you align the stars with the stones? Yes, we're gonna have a look if we can see a stone circle close. Close to us. I don't even remember what the icon was, but sure there might be some. Hemu's Promise, the quest was called. Okay. Then maybe later we'll go. Now we have to finish the quest here, and then we might go back to Siwa. In your opinion, they did not include the armor of Brutus in Origins because they forgot about it, or for budget reasons. This is that they put not a lot of so good armors instead of it. I don't think that they might have forgotten about that. They might have forgotten about that, or they didn't want to show Brutus in his armor because it wouldn't have looked amazing in the Senate scene with Julius Caesar. They made a huge mess with Brutus, in my opinion. Because Brutus was an assassin leader, an important one at that as well, and the hidden ones were not called the hidden ones in ancient Rome. They were called the Liberatores. It was mentioned in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and many of the accomplishments that Brutus had, they were retconned into Amunet's accomplishments, which I didn't really like, honestly.
Be careful when drinking with strangers.
So they did not have Brutus's armor in that, but they, if you get to read the Origins comics, you will see that Brutus will give Aya his dagger. So at least we have Aya getting the dagger of Brutus. There is some mess in there as well. I think they changed some story bits in between. But yeah, like the armor of Brutus, I don't think it's mentioned in the comics as well. They kind of forgot about it. Which, come on, Brutus appears only in Brotherhood, so I don't know why they were able to forget it, but they did. Outfits in Origins were the worst. Would you say that? I would say that most of the outfits, apart from the the store ones, they were very much in theme with the environment. Even though most of them were color variations, I'm gonna give you that. I would say that there were quite a number of those. Can we go back to Siwa? There were a lot of peeps in the chat asking for a quest that is called, what was it called? Hemu's Promise, and it's in Siwa. As much as I love the AC Origins, I hated the retcons at the ending. Which of the various retcons? It could be that one. This one. No, this is Hideaway. Could be another one. Maybe one of the question marks of the healer. It's called Hemu's Promise. Do you guys remember where it was? But yeah, there were a few retcons at the ending. The major retcon is that the assassins actually existed way before the Hidden Ones were founded, and that retcon actually had a huge influence on everything that happened in there. The creation of the Hidden Ones, the definition of the proto-assassins. It's out in the desert south of Siwa, I think it was mentioned there. Oh, so it might be this one. It should be this one because it's glimmering in gold. So let's try and get there. Too much retcon, unfortunately. Another retcon I didn't like was Winston Churchill. Yes, in AC2 he was one of the Templars. He was mentioned in Subject 16's clips. And he's actually helping an assassin in Syndicate. So yeah, not really amazing in there. But yeah. Let's go with a camel. Okay. So yeah, I think that we're going to get to the Hemu mission. Which was heart-wrenching, if I recall correctly. We're going to start the Stone Circles quest. Now that you guys mentioned it, it had to be started here, so you cannot find other Stone Circles, I think, if you don't start the quest. You guys had some very good memories. I absolutely didn't remember where it was. So here we are at the Abun Stone Circle.
Sandstorm coming.
And we are starting.
My son.
Oh, this
What is the
cutscene.
stars?
I forgot about this.
The stone circles show the god's place.
Best part of the game. You're talking about the World War I part of Syndicate or this mission? How much is Origins? If you're getting in on the Ubisoft store, it's still 50 or 60 euros, which is too much in my opinion. Absolutely too much. You can get it discounted with the Ubisoft units or whatever they're called. But I think that you can get the game through other platforms like Epic Games or something like that. So let's hold. And I think we should be able to do the first one here. That's our first stone circle. And I think that after the stone circle, we're going to wrap up the stream. I like the oh, this mission you think is the best part of the game, Jatin. It is very interesting and it's very nice. I remember when back then we were able to make a video about this before the game was released, and we did show this.
Egypt has forgotten who she is.
The
Many chose wealth.
we did show one of these stone circles. I think it was the Sekhmet one.
But we are Magi.
And it was
We will
pretty
bring
cool.
justice
A lot of
and
people
honor
like
back
that.
to Egypt.
I hope we get information about Valhalla and AC in general in the next few days. That very much depends on what Ubisoft is going to do. Because they're not going to have in the coming days any Ubisoft Forward event. So the only information we might get could be, I would expect them to be, if there are any, at the Xbox Showcase. So that will be on June the 12th, which should be next Monday or Sunday. Today is the June the 6th, so it should be on Sunday,
And forgives them.
if I'm not mistaken. In the meantime, Sary is looking for the proper location. The stone circles were the best of Origins. It was a very good narrative. Like it showed how what this meant for Bayek and how Hemu meant for Bayek. And this is the picture of a moon. And these stone circles, I think there were 12 of those or 10 of those, and they were meant to represent the various deities of the Egyptian pantheon, while at the same time these also held some dialogues between Bayek and Hemu, which did show the relationship between father and son. Way better than the standing stones in Valhalla. The standing stones in Valhalla, they did have a similar theme in that they showed the relationship between Sigurd, between young Eivor and Sigurd's family. But they were not, I'm not sure. I mean, I did like both. I don't have a favorite between them. I like that the side quests are connected to the main story, yes. I'm not sure whether we could say that in Valhalla, because the side stories are more like how fast can they be on the horses? Like I said, in Valhalla, the side stories are connected to the world. They are called world events for a reason. But yeah, I think that on that note, while we're doing another side quest, I think we can wrap up the stream. We're close to 2 hours again today, and it was so nice to see you guys again this week.
I do not fear them.
It's been an interesting week for sure, because the announcement about Origins, they kind of, rekindled the fire in the AC community for a time, and now everything has gone, it's slow again now. We'll see if there's going to be any announcements in the future. Like I always mention, keep your eyes out on our channel. There's going to be a new video, I think, midweek, so not tomorrow for sure, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. We can it's going to be about Rift and what we know about it, some other stuff that I found all around, and some story information early years. So it's gonna be interesting for sure. Can you start covering Kingdom Come Deliverance as well? It's not really what we do, even though I very much like the concept of Kingdom Come Deliverance, I've never played it, but I saw some videos about it. It is so interesting as a game. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're going to enjoy the remainder of the day and the week as well. So keep your eyes out on the channel and on our social media as well. Take care and be safe wherever you are. And I think I will see you next Monday as well with another Monday stream. Oh my god, we have Sary on the stream as well. Oh wow. I didn't expect that. That's a plot twist for the end. Ciao a tutti. Have a nice week.